Without this dedicated community, we would not have overcome some of the difficult challenges we faced in creating this institution. The families who walked through Ashesi's doors in 2001 to come learn more about us, the pioneer students, the faculty and administrators who got this project underway, the many alumni who have defined the reputation of this institution through their hard work and effort, the staff and faculty whose dedication behind the scenes make the work of Ashesi's success look easy, the many friends of Ashesi who have contributed their time and financial resources to help grow this place brick by brick, the architects, consultants, construction teams who crack this terrain and manage to design and build for it. Without all these people, all this effort, all this support, we would not have achieved what I imagined for this place, let alone exceed what I imagined. Professor Ade mentioned that we've invested close to $100 million in this project since we started. It is the effort of many, many people that have brought us here, and it is a commitment to keep investing in Ghana and in this continent for as long as we can. Keep dreaming, class of 2018, because success always starts with imagination. But remember that as bold and brilliant as you may be, your success will depend on your ability to inspire the energies and contributions of others to your cause. Recognize the immense contributions of all the people who have helped to get you where you are. Recognize those who will help you get to the next stage of your life and career, and the next, and the next, and the next. Wherever you go, whatever you do, build a team around you that you can depend on. Fourth, I would like to remind you that dreaming is not enough. You must do. You must pick up the courage to act on your dreams. Taking the first step will require taking a risk. Taking the second, third, fourth, 99th, and 100th will require the ability to get things wrong and still keep going. For those of you who will be graduating this year cum laude, you have had an experience of scoring A's throughout your academic career. That means you've managed to get things right at least 80% of the time. And that is wonderful. But within that fact also lies a danger that you will hesitate to do things that involve the risk of failure. You must learn to take the important first steps to act on your dreams and then use your diligence to execute with excellence. Those of you who are not graduating cum laude, who are not graduating with a record of being right 80% of the time, you're in great shape. Keep doing what you've done here. Keep taking risks, persisting through difficulty, completing what you set out to do. In a way, we're here today completing a project we set out to do, to build an independently run institution of higher learning, to build a great African university that would contribute towards nurturing exceptional leaders and citizens for our world. It has required persistence to come this far. Yet, today also marks the beginning of a new project for us. Let us today resolve to grow Ashesi's impact exponentially in the days to come. Class of 2018, understand that there were students who came before you, men and women, who have built the reputation of this university through the positive impact they're making through their dedication to our mission. Students who graduated before you did not receive Ashesi certificates. Their certificates came from the University of Cape Coast. It is you, class of 2018, who get to receive Ashesi certificates for the first time in our history. So as pioneer students today, I hope you will value the privilege and responsibility that this confers on you as a class to be an exponential force for good in the world. We are very proud of you. We look forward to your contributions in the day to come. Congratulations. I wish you well, and I wish you Godspeed in your life's journey. Thank you very much.
Minister for Education, ministers, deputy ministers of state, the Member of Parliament for Akuapem South, members of Parliament, District Chief Executive for Ekwapim South, the President of Ashesi University, members of faculty, Vice Chancellors of sister universities, Brekusu Hine and Nananum, members of the Diplomatic Corps, students and alumni, fellow Ghanaians, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to join you this morning at this impressive campus of Ashesi University for an important milestone in the lives of our young people. Hearty congratulations, class of 2018. I'm always excited to be amongst young Ghanaians, young Africans, to tap into their energies, their hopes, and their aspirations. The smiles and anxieties of young people tell you all you need to know about the future of the country and the continent, a future I care so much about. We're gathered here today primarily to celebrate the end of your preparation for the start of your independent lives. This preparation has taken place for the past 4 years under the care and protection of Ashesi University in this scenic atmosphere of Brekusu's awesome landscape. Nana Brekusu, thank you for that. You're graduating today as well, at a special moment in the life of this university, when it officially comes of age and receives its own presidential charter. Henceforth, Ashesi would award its own certificates and degrees. Ladies and gentlemen, identity matters. Who you are matters. Where you come from matters. An Ashesi degree should stand for something distinctive, and it should be different from other degrees. The surroundings in which you are being taught and the way you have been taught should help to present the products of this institution as distinguishable from those of other universities. Each one of you that carries an Ashesi degree represents the remarkable Ashesi story that needs to be told over and over again to ensure that you are never tempted to stray from what the founder and the president, Patrick Awia, has created here. I'm sure that sometimes when the going was rough, he must have been sorely tempted to cut corners, for after all, others may have been doing so all around him. But he kept his eyes firmly on his stated mission, and he succeeded in establishing a world-class university. It thus came as no surprise when he was named as the 6th winner of the Wise Prize for Education by its founder, Her Royal Highness Sheikh Musa bin Nasser of Qatar, a fellow member of the group of eminent advocates of the 2030 UN Sustainable Development Goals. I was on an official visit to Doha, the capital of Qatar, when this honor was done to him and to our country. I remember a Qatari, on being introduced to me, say, quote, "You must be the president of Patrick Awia's country." Unquote. That Qatari clearly had his priorities right. We have seen other institutions where standards have been compromised in the rush to increase numbers, and where new courses are added without the provision of adequate facilities and faculty. Excuse me. I'm particularly delighted with the setting up of the engineering in Ashesi. Proof, if some was still necessary, that indeed Ashesi was set up to meet the needs of Ghana and of the continent. Within the short period of its existence, the university made a name for itself in the fields of business administration and computer science. The university could have chosen to stick to these and other areas that did not require very expensive inputs. But you remain true to your mission. And so today, Ashesi has an engineering school, and a first-class one at that. The most remarkable traits of Ashesi has been that it decided right from the beginning that its work was not done the day degrees were awarded to its students. It took and retained a keen interest in their fate outside the institution. Ashesi was interested in knowing if their graduates have jobs, how long it took them to find jobs, and how they fared once they got jobs. It is not surprising, therefore, that employers also took notice, and Ashesi graduates have been doing well in the job market. Perhaps the most visible proof of the Ashesi story is this extraordinary campus in which we are gathered. It is beautiful, it is serene, and the environment tells you that this is a suitable place for teaching and learning. Patrick Awia could have chosen to stay in the temporary buildings he started with in Laboni. They're certainly not much worse than the places where some other universities are operating from. But Ashesi does not cut corners, does not settle for the mediocre, and insists on long-term good quality. All students that bear the Ashesi name and that carry its degree must shoulder the full weight of the investments made by Patrick Awia and do justice to the Ashesi story in all they do. I'm glad that his efforts are being recognized and praised around the world, and I'm proud to share in his glory as a Ghanaian. I urge you, the Ashesi class of 2018, always to keep in mind that you will be judged by the high standards set by your university. I started this conversation saying that identity was important. It helps to give you self-confidence. Identity is not only what you say you are, but also what image is evoked by this identity that you claim. An Ashesi graduate is expected to be well-equipped and well-versed in whatever area of study he or she has offered. A graduate will be relied on not to cut corners and not to be afraid of hard work. And the graduate will be expected to have a firm moral compass. These attributes should apply to all of us in our various areas of work and enterprise. I maintain that it should be the greatest honor to be able to say I am a Ghanaian, and we should have no difficulty in identifying a Ghanaian not only as a legal entity, but also through his or her behavior. I had hoped that the exercise to provide all citizens with a national identity card would receive the enthusiastic support of all of us as the project finally gets off the ground after years of willful stagnation and neglect. Unfortunately, we seem to have become embroiled once again in another of those full-scale manufactured storms deliberately engineered to slow down progress in everything we try to do. If we as a people had been conducting our affairs properly throughout the years, there should not be any argument in determining who is a Ghanaian. But we have not. There is a point of view being argued vociferously that the possession of a voter's ID card should qualify one to be issued a national identity card, even though that view was never canvassed during the parliamentary consideration of this matter. I do not think I say anything contentious if I state here that it is well known that many non-Ghanaians are in possession of voters' cards that they obtain by offering NHIS cards as proof of identity. I believe it is also generally accepted that the terms of our national health insurance scheme make it attractive to our neighbors, and many have signed on to benefit from the free health care provided under the scheme. This is why the Supreme Court handed out a ruling that the NHIS card should not be used as a form of identification to register for a voter's ID card. It should not be in anybody's interest that we bastardize the identity of a Ghanaian. It should not be in the long-term interest of anybody that we enlist as Ghanaians people whose loyalty to our nation is limited to access to our free health care system. I certainly have no interest and no intention to prevent genuine citizens from being issued with identity cards. But my oath of office is unequivocal that I owe it to the nation to uphold the law and protect our institutions from being undermined. I do not think that there are more credible basic documentary requirements for establishing nationality or citizenship than a birth certificate or a passport. An appropriate, acceptable mechanism has been provided in the law to verify the claims of those who have neither. What then are we to make of the outrage being orchestrated by some high-ranking leaders of the opposition and some members of the minority in Parliament when all the evidence points to their enthusiastic support of the National Identity Register Amendment Bill when it came before them in the House? I believe it is worth recalling here some of their contributions. The ranking member on the Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Select Committee in Parliament, i.e. the designated leader of the minority on that committee, the Honorable Inusa Hussaini, Member of Parliament for Tamale Central and former Minister for Lands and Natural Resources under the Mahama government, noted during the debate on the floor that, and I quote, "There is no controversy in the amendments. It seeks to expand the field of information that will be required and bring the information up to date with modern trends," unquote. He was supported by the NDC MP for Banda, the Honorable Ahmed Ibrahim, who said, and I quote, "Mr. Speaker, from the day of the birth of Jesus Christ, registration and census were done. Therefore, it is very pathetic that as a country, we do not know who a Ghanaian is. Mr. Speaker, if there's something as a country that Ghanaians should come together and support, I believe this bill is one of them," unquote. The NDC MP for Elembele, the Honorable Emmanuel Amakofi Bua, the former Minister for Petroleum under the Mahama government, in his contribution further stated, and I quote, "The amendment bill is long overdue and very critical for our country. The issue of who a Ghanaian is very critical in this country, especially because of the issues we face," unquote. These are samples of the sentiments that allowed the House to accept unanimously, i.e. without dissent, the report of the committee, which stated among others, and I quote, "The committee also noted that the bill seeks to do away with the use of voters' identity cards, driver's license, and baptismal certificates as proof of citizenship. It, however, maintains the use of birth certificates and passports. It further introduces resident permits and other documents evidencing acquired IA informed the committee that the changes are consistent with the decision of the Supreme Court in Abu Ramadan versus the Attorney General, delivered in May 2016, unquote. I would ask you to indulge me for dwelling somewhat on this issue, but in the light of current pronouncements in the country, I think it germane to use the occasion to draw the attention of the Ghanaian people to these matters. There are 4 pages of information that the NI officials require from us to help them determine if we qualify to get a card. There is a legal definition of who is a Ghanaian, and I pray that we abandon giving politics a bad name and support this exercise to proceed rapidly to a successful end. The language of denationalization or threats of civil war are, to say the least, extremely unfortunate. They can be fittingly described as base forms of self-serving demagoguery. I am confident that the good sense of the Ghanaian people and the vigilance of the law enforcement agencies will together be sufficient to defeat any ill-conceived, destructive adventure for achieving narrow parochial partisan ends. The lust for power should not cloud one's sense of judgment. To call yourself a Ghanaian means you must be a responsible citizen. Class of 2018, as you set out into the world, I hope you will carry your identities as an Ashesi man or woman and as a Ghanaian with pride. You may be engaged in building an enduring company, engaging a social cause, or developing a breakthrough technology that lifts Africa up. Whatever you do, remember the importance of doing it for love of country. It has been rewarding for all of us to see Ashesi grow into such a world-class institution that is confident in its identity. I'm happy it has fallen on me to have the honor to present to the president of Ashesi University this exemplary Ghanaian, Patrick Ewia, a charter from the President of the Republic. That qualifies Ashesi University to be a fully independent university that can now award its own degrees. Congratulations to the class of 2018 for being the first group to receive your certificates from a fully fledged university under the authority granted by the Presidential Charter. I congratulate all members of the Ashesi University community. I trust sincerely that the receipt of this charter will inspire Ashesi University to continue to operate with the same discipline, commitment, and love of country that we have observed over the years. I wish you continued excellence in the years to come. God bless the class of 2018. And God bless us all in our homeland, Ghana, and make her great and strong.
On behalf of Ashesi University, we'd like to say a very big thank you to His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the President of the Republic of Ghana, for making it to our graduation. We appreciate you. Now, as a token of gratitude, we would basically welcome you as a member of the 2018 graduating class.
The Scholarship, Leadership, and Citizenship Award is given to graduates who have lived out Ashesi's core values during their time at the university. These awardees have contributed in outstanding ways to Ashesi's mission and have had a strong impact on the Ashesi community. This is the highest award a student can receive at Ashesi and is presented by the president of the university. And today you get an honor to get two presidents presenting the awards to you. President of our university and the President of the Republic of Ghana. Our first awardee is described as an embodiment of academic excellence and social consciousness. He has continuously displayed brilliant academic prowess, exemplary leadership in his involvement in class activity and community engagement projects. If you have ever wondered what living with Einstein might have been like, you should definitely spend some time with him. Rightly so, he was selected to represent Ashesi at the next Einstein Forum in Senegal in 2016. For so strongly representing the Ashesi ideals of scholarship, leadership, and citizenship, we present this award to Maxwell Aladago. This student is one of the strongest testament to the power of determination that Ashesi has ever seen. Coming from a humble background, she arrived at Ashesi having worked as a kayayo. To put herself through high school. And having arrived on campus a week after her classmates, she powered through initial challenges in and out of the classroom, and eventually became one of the strongest students in her class. From serving as a student intern in Ashesi Library, to being a coach to high school students during Ashesi Innovation Experience Program, this student has continually demonstrated a spirit of service to her community. For so strongly representing the Ashesi ideals of leadership and citizenship, and so much more, we present this award to Tenny Agana. Since he joined the Ashesi community, his name has been synonymous with music and computer literacy. As a sophomore, he founded the Brekusu Music Project, an after-school program where he and other students volunteered to teach music at the Brekusu High School. For him, the way of giving back to the world of music, which in his words, changed his life. The project subsequently birthed the Brekusu Ensemble, a choral group made up of students from the Brekusu Junior High School who have to date performed here on campus, at the American Embassy in Ghana, and other events. Back on campus, this young man also helped establish the Ashesi Chorale, a music group made up of Ashesi students, which you heard sing here today. He also founded an IT training program targeted at under-resourced communities in Ghana named Tech Era. In his words, Tech Era was established from a passion to see IT become a local language spoken by all Africans, including and especially the underprivileged in society. Guided by his leadership, Tech Era has grown into a multi-module organization since its inception in 2015. To date, the program has founded robotics clubs in 2 technical schools, runs a program to teach IT to visually impaired teachers and and students at the Cropon School of the Blind, and has trained many students in rural areas to become computer literate. It was his work with Tekara that got the attention of the Queen's Young Leadership Award selection team, which named him an awardee in 2018. He will be one of the 60 young leaders from around the world whose award will be presented this month by Queen Elizabeth II in London. A 2016 Dalai Lama Fellow and nominated by his peers for several student leadership awards, we look forward to seeing this student make global impact as he graduates from Ashesi today. For so strongly representing the Ashesi ideals of scholarship, leadership, and citizenship, we present this award to Derek Omari. Derek is in the UK, but the mom is here to take it on his behalf.